Yes, Mike Lee's the name. I live at 22 Delaware Court, Newtown Crossing. A couple questions I have. It's supposedly a 133% increase in the budget. Is that correct? Is that what was proposed?
It's 133% in the tax millage rate.
What does that mean? I just don't understand.
You have 4.5 mils of real estate tax that go to the township right now. It's proposed to be 5.99.
Well, something in the newsletter about 193 or something like that dollars increase.
Mr. Chairman, I think we have a chart that may show that sometimes it's better in dollars and cents than in percentage. And if it could be put on our monitors for people to see, it's been broken down by different categories of home prices. And we're not going to have every home price out there, but it's just going to give some sort of idea of what your increase would be in that category of your home and assessment. So saying 178%, 130%, but when it comes down to dollars and cents, maybe it's more visible and comprehensible.
Well, what would be the total the township would collect on the increase?
Well, I mean, depending on the size of your home and what it's valued, I mean...
No, I mean a general increase. How much would the township bring in?
How much would the township bring in?
I think what he's asking is what is 5 point whatever the additional millage is, what does that translate into dollars and cents?
Almost $2 million, is it?
Well, $2 million is $2,256,567 to the general fund.
Right.
But that
Well, what's
doesn't
the general fund now? How much is the
zero.
general fund?
At zero.
How much?
Zero.
It's zero. There is
Zero.
no general fund?
There's no millage associated with the general fund right now.
No millage. No millage associated with the general fund. How much, are you asking how much money is in the general fund right now?
Right.
Oh, that's a different story. That's not really what the budget is about so much as planning for next year. But
It just seems at a time with COVID, when there's so many people laid off and so many people struggling, but 133% increase of anything sounds like an awful lot. I don't see any reaction to that. It just seems like, hey, pay it. That's it.
We're residents too. We feel the increase among us. But again, when you break it down, someone who has the luxury of living in $1 million home is only paying $2.80 a day. Okay? I know that's not garbage, that's the truth, but we have it broken down. Anybody wants to take the paper home with them, they can. It's all been calculated. So, like I said, 178% of $1 is $2.78.
Now, are the homes going to be reassessed for a millage?
not that we know of. That's county.
That's
That's a
up to
function of
the
county.
To decide.
So if the county does do that, then it would be an increase more than what you're saying.
It's unlikely to happen.
Well,
Some properties will go up and some properties will go
Yeah,
down.
some properties will be assessed lower, some properties higher. There's no direct correlation to what they were getting.
It doesn't look like Newtown Township has too many homes that would be decreased in value.
No, that's
Would somebody agree with that or disagree?
I don't know what did you, I didn't catch
What was the question?
I don't think there's too many homes in Newtown Township that would be rated lower, or their value would be lower or decreased,
But the county,
But it's
Mr.
taxable.
Sanders,
or taxable value, whatever you want
It's
to call
neither
it.
here nor there, because there's absolutely no plans or even mention of a countywide reassessment. Hasn't been done since 1971 or 73 or whatever.
Well, COVID was never done before either, and we suddenly had it. I mean, that's not. That's
But
not
you're arguing in hypotheticals. That really doesn't have to do with our budget.
Well, it has to do with the people's pocketbook if you do increase it, doesn't it?
I would
It
say
hasn't
that
happened.
if the county did do a county.
I mean, what do you do with people who can't afford to pay this?
They would get a lien against their property.
Put a lien on their
So
house.
when
They
they
can get it from them
when they
somehow.
eventually sell their house, they'd have to pay it up.
Right.
I had typically public comment is not a time to go back and forth. You certainly can. I do have a response for you. I was gonna save it until new business, old business. My response is this, if I can be indulged. Think ahead 6 months. Think ahead a year from now. 6 months from now is the first time we can pay on this tax bill. The bills won't come out until we enact it before December 31st. The bills won't come out until March 1st, the first week of March. The first month of March and April, you get a discount. In May and June, you pay face value. After June, you can not pay it. You might get a penalty. Last year, the penalties were shifted. I don't know if that would happen again this year. But aren't we hopeful, and aren't we hearing that the vaccine is coming, and that things are going to be improving?
It's going to be 95% effective. And there's 5% of the people who can still get it.
So things, the business community will be opening up in 6 months from now, 7 months from now. And a year from now, I mean, I pray that this is over. And we still have time to pay that bill.
It's a hypothetical, though. You don't know that it's going to be over in 6 months or a year.
We don't know it, but we
do
have
know
good
this is
reason to
definite.
think. What's that?
We do know that this tax increase would be definite.
When it's enacted, when and if it's enacted, yes. It's $26 a month for me. I live in Newtown too.
Yeah, but there are some people.
I work at a food bank. I know this is real, and we all are dealing with it. Some of us have a little better, easier way with it, but I also want to emphasize that cutting all the services in the township is not a good deal either.
What services? I pay for my own trash removal. I don't get the services from the community.
Police, fire, roads. You get your roads plowed in the wintertime. I don't want to argue with you. I just want to make it clear that this bill that we're paying now is for next year. I have an escrow. I'm not going to see that hit my escrow account until next year in December. We're paying from last year now, and in fact, I would suggest that we did the right thing by not doing a tax increase last year, because now we're not paying extra this year. We'll pay extra next year. I mean, I'm not arguing. I'm just pointing it out, and I haven't heard anybody say anything about that. And in all practicality, that's the way it works.
But it is working.
What's working?
The township is working.
Yes.
And we're saying 126 or 133, whatever percentage increase in mills is needed, right?
I have a vision for us going forward that we do economic development, we do grant writing, we do municipality agreements.
I understand all that. All that is top level. But what about the bottom level, the guy that lives at home, he and his wife are both unemployed?
All those things impact the budget.
We'll put a lien on their house,
the budget
we'll
going
collect them, they try
forward.
to sell it.
All those
Get out
things
of
impact our revenue sources for the budget. And it takes pressure off having to raise taxes.
How does that take pressure off?
Having intergovernmental agreements that might
No. I'm just talking
might
about
use our services.
Joe Blow and Mary Blow live in the township. They have a home. They're both unemployed. We're going to give them a tax increase. A big tax increase.
And I'm not going to argue with you about the size of the tax increase and how it impacts you, because that's you.
What doesn't impact me?
$26
To be honest, it doesn't
a
impact
month
me.
for me is very manageable.
It's not a whole lot. But that's not my point. When you put out terms like 133 or 100 and some percent, that's an awful lot. That sounds like a lot to anybody who reads it.
Well, let me
If your
we-
household budget went up by that amount, what would
If
you
we
say?
were, if we were not to raise taxes, no, we're not surviving. We would be deficit spending down well over $1 million. Our earned income taxes dropped probably $1 million in a combination of Lockheed Martin and other
Oh,
townships.
so what happened to you was that your investments went down.
Well,
What about the
well,
small guy whose
well,
investments went down?
There's also things that we haven't even taken into consideration, which is maybe taxing people's pension money, passive income. There are people out there that are getting passive income that are not contributing to the EIT. Now, I don't think anyone wants to see us tax retired people with their pensions, but what we're doing is trying to compensate that by making an equitable tax increase, which again is nominal in dollars and cents. It's not even a cup of coffee a day in some cases, depending on where you get your coffee. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
depending on where you live.
Yeah, but anyway, if we do not do this, if we do not have a tax increase, we have the possibility of losing a lot more than what we're going to gain.
No, I'm not saying,
We
I'm not
have-
against the tax increase. What I'm saying to you, if you said to me, we're increasing taxes by 33%, I'd say, boy, that's a lot. You're not saying that. You're saying 130-some%.
That's because the budgets were never increased incrementally during the last 10 years.
But whose fault is that?
Prior boards.
Oh, so you guys are the heroes. 'Cause you're
Well,
gonna
we
do
could,
it.
we could either not pass anything tonight, or cut maybe 2 or 3 police officers, cut a couple firemen, because they're the only ones that have the income that would affect our
Well, how much of
budget.
an increase are they getting?
Excuse me?
How much of an increase are they getting?
How much of well, that's their contract. You want to see their contract? I mean,
No, I didn't
Their-
ask you
their
about the
contract.
contract now. How much are they getting in the future? This is
I
all talking
believe
about
it's,
future.
what did it get?
3%.
3% per year, 3% increase.
3%.
But,
Doesn't sound like a
we
lot.
could cut a couple police officers, we could cut a couple firemen, and God forbid if something were to happen, they're not going to be there to call on you. We could not buy them police cars, and maybe they'll be driving a jalopy out to call and a car breaks down. So I mean, there's things that we're doing.
So you turn it around that it's somebody else's fault that it's increased. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I've been on this board for
If
3
you're telling
years.
me, hey, police
I'll
officers getting a
accept what
3%
I
raise,
haven't done.
Yeah.
but you're getting 133% increase in millage or whatever you want to call it. You know, the
On a
terms
small-
don't sit with me. The
when you-
133% just doesn't stick.
Well, maybe again, I hate to say.
I mean, if somebody come up to you
I
and
hate-
said, we're doing a 33%
I hate to
increase
keep
on
saying
your
this
pension,
because I
or
don't
your
want to sound
budget or
like a
something.
broken
You say,
record.
that's a lie.
But I don't know what your situation is or whatever. For all I know, you could be a multimillionaire, and I really don't care. But the whole thing is, your school board is taxing you every year at least 5% per year. It increases. And they're going to keep taxing you. And they just sit there and nobody goes to them. You're paying 85% of your tax bill goes to the school district. We collect about 2% of your tax bill, your total tax bill. 3%, okay, I'm sorry.
So you're telling me, if you only break my leg, it's okay, but if you break my skull, it's not okay. I mean, you're using an excuse that I can't
Well,
find.
I guess
I'm dealing with you, I'm not dealing with the
we're
school
going to
board.
have to agree to disagree then. But I want to see when the school board.
Forget the
increases-
school board, I want to
I
see
want-
when, this is the
Well,
Newtown Township.
Yeah, but when you look at your tax bill and see 3% of that total tax bill comes to the township, and what you're getting for is police protection, fire protection, public works, roads, administration, park and recs, if you have a grandchild or whatever in the park and rec system. Now, for that 3%, you're getting all that. For the 85-90%, I don't see the school board sending a police officer out to your house, or if there's a fire, the police, the school board, fire department coming out to your house. So for your 3%, look at what you're getting from this township, as opposed to your 85% of what you're getting, which is nothing from the school district.
All right, here's my question, what am I getting for the township?
You
I'm
can
getting
come
the
up,
fact
you
that-
can come up later when you're done. Yeah, I mean, this is a motion to advertise the budget, so,
I thought you said it was a motion to advertise the budget, and the budget's gonna be 133% increase,
well, it's
right?
to advertise, we're not approving the budget tonight, this is to advertise, so this way you can go out to the public so they can see it. And there'll be further discussions about the budget at our next meeting or later on this evening. So, I mean, it's not that the discussion is over.
In the emails, I've been reading all the emails.
That's good.
You have to get yourself on a mailing list?
No,
Because
no,
I
you
don't
can
get
send-
anything from the
You
township.
can send emails in anytime you want.
I don't get it. I mean, I have to look it up, I guess.
It's on the website.
It's on the website.
Okay.
You could send an email to us and ask questions to the board and anytime you want. You don't have to wait till the next meeting. You could send an email as soon as you go home. If you think of something, send an email into the board, and we look at all the emails that come in.
It just looks to me that most of these hearings are just done just to placate the law. It has nothing to do with the people, what really they say. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Thank you.